I'm John Harned with Epic Realty. In this video, we're going to look at what a home appraisal actually is, why it matters to your lender, and what happens if the value comes back lower than we expected. If you are financing your purchase, your lender requires an appraisal before approving the loan. A licensed appraiser provides an objective assessment of the home's value based on recent comparable sales in the area and the property's condition. This is separate from your home inspection. While an inspector looks for physical defects or safety issues, the appraiser's only job is to determine what the home is worth in today's market. Lenders use this report to limit their risk. They will only loan money based on the appraised value, which ensures the bank isn't providing more financing than the asset itself is worth. This appraisal acts as a rigid financial boundary. It means your purchasing power for a specific house is dictated by the bank's mathematical assessment of risk. In an ideal scenario, the home appraises at or above the price you agreed to pay in the contract. This confirms the value for the lender, allowing your financing to move forward immediately with no changes needed to your purchase agreement. However, sometimes the appraisal comes in lower than your offer price. As you see, the agreed price outweighs the official appraised value. Because the lender only finances the lower number, this creates a capital shortfall to resolve before closing. This discrepancy halts the financing process. Both the buyer and seller have to mathematically resolve this gap for the transaction to proceed. When an appraisal comes in low, we look to 5 strategies to handle the discrepancy and keep the deal moving. The first option is to renegotiate with the seller. We can ask them to lower the contract price to match the appraised value. This protects your cash reserves and ensures you are paying a price the bank considers fair market value. However, sellers are not required to agree to a price drop. If they have other buyers, they may cancel the contract instead. The second option is for you to cover the appraisal gap in cash, paying the difference out of pocket to keep the original price intact. This is the direct way to resolve the conflict, satisfying the seller's expectations and keeping the transaction on schedule. The trade-off is the immediate impact on your liquid savings. You'll need to have that extra cash available at closing. This also means you are essentially starting with negative equity, as you are paying more than the bank's official valuation. These first 2 options require you to choose between protecting your cash on hand or guaranteeing you secure the property. The third option is to split the difference. Both buyer and seller meet in the middle to share the cost of the valuation gap. This requires a seller willing to take a partial price cut and a buyer with cash to cover the rest. Fourth, we can challenge the appraisal. This involves a formal reconsideration of value, where I submit missing data or better comparable sales to the appraiser. If they agree to adjust their number, the gap could disappear without you spending extra cash. Be aware that these challenges have a low success rate and can add significant delays to our closing timeline. The final option is to walk away. If our contract includes an appraisal contingency, you can choose to exit the deal entirely. This allows you to recover your full earnest money deposit and protects you from overpaying for a property. The clear downside is that you lose the home and will need to begin your search for a new property. A low appraisal changes the original plan, but these 5 strategies ensure you keep control over your capital and your level of risk. Determining the right move depends on your available cash and your risk tolerance. This scorecard shows how each option impacts your savings and the likelihood of the deal closing. For buyers focused on protecting their savings, renegotiation or using the walkaway contingency are often the primary paths. If you have the funds available and are determined to get this specific house, covering the gap or splitting the difference provides the highest probability of closing. We will look at these options together. If we hit an appraisal gap, I'll walk you through the math to see which approach fits your situation best. These profiles provide a framework for navigating the appraisal gap as a manageable negotiation checkpoint. That covers the fundamentals of appraisals and the 5 ways we can handle a valuation gap. In our next and final video, we'll discuss the final walkthrough and exactly what happens on your closing day. Write down any questions you have about these 5 strategies or how they relate to your specific budget. We will go over those details during our in-person consultation to make sure you have complete clarity before we start making offers. I'm John Harned with Epic Realty. I'm here to guide you through every step of this process, and I look forward to meeting with you soon.